Black Ops 6 Zombie speedrunning is here, and I'm personally loving it. And just like my other guides, I'm here to teach you how to speedrun Terminus just like a world record player. If you want more content like this, then please subscribe and like the video, and let's get into it. After about 2 to 3 weeks of playing and speedrunning Black Ops 6 Zombies, and specifically Terminus, I thought now was the time to drop the speedrun guide. The route is finally starting to settle down without much changing as of about the 12th of November, and this is the most optimal route for you to get the fastest possible time on Terminus. Before we start, you're going to want to make sure you have all of the following unlocked, and I'll list them in order of priority for the speedrun, as some things take a while to unlock, and some things you might want to permanently unlock if you're prestiging like myself. Number 1, the GS45 pistol. This pistol is going to be the primary gun that you'll be using throughout the speedrun. When Pack-a-Punch, they turn into the iconic Mustang and Sally, and unless you've been living under a rock, you'll know that these are essentially the best gun in the game right now. Make sure that these are leveled up to level 31 to unlock the akimbo attachment. On screen right now is my class setup for the GS45. It's vital that you're using a suppressor on all of your guns, as this massively increases your salvage drop rates during the run, which you absolutely need. Number 2, make sure that you have shock charges unlocked, as this is what we'll be using for the boat lockdown skip. Number 3, make sure you have ether shroud unlocked and have the augments burst dash and extra charge. This is going to be used in multiple parts of the speedrun, including the bomb step and also getting from Peck to Nathan quickly. Number 4, I'm going to group these two together, but you're going to want specific augments for PhD flopper and stamin-up. These are less important than the other things I mentioned, but you're going to save time across the run with these. On PhD, run the tribologist minor augment for a sliding speed boost. The major augment isn't really that important, but I personally use Dr. Ram. On stamin-up, make sure you're running the hot foot minor augment, as we're going to abuse this during the start of the run to move from A to B quickly. I use the free faller major augment for no fall damage, but some might choose to run dasher, but this one really isn't that important. Number 5, make sure you have tomahawks unlocked. These are going to be what you want to abuse with the hot foot stamin-up augment. When you kill a zombie with a tomahawk, you're going to get a massive speed boost, and obviously you can just keep picking up the same tomahawk and reusing it during the run. Number 6, finally on energy mine, unlock for turret and extra charge augments. We will be starting the run with energy mine and then swapping to ether shroud later on, and it will become apparent why later. And just some extra things that aren't important, but I know some people will ask me about. For speed caller, I'm using the classic formula augment for reload speed in the boss fight, and for juggernog, I'm using probiotic and hardened plates for damage mitigation. Your final class loadout should look something like this. The gun you start with doesn't matter too much. I personally like the Tanto for the headshot damage, but I know others like to opt for the XM4. Just make sure that whatever you're using has a suppressor on it and a good ammo size so that you can clear rounds in one clip as much as possible. Finally, make sure you go into your loadout like so and set your GS45 pistols to be your zombie build. This will make it so that when you buy them off the wall, they will have the attachments that you set on them. And finally, make sure you are not playing as one of the dedicated crew operators, that's Carver, Weaver, Gray, or Meyer, as these will give you extra quotes to slow you down in the run. I personally use Klaus because I think he's quite funny. Load into the map, and the first thing you want to do is turn on the rampage inducer. Make your way over to the generator, but don't turn it on straight away. I would wait until the notification for the rampage inducer shows up on your screen before turning it on. The goal is to end both round 1 and round 2 before the generator finishes to get the fastest possible round ends in the run. End round 1 and buy the pistols off of the wall and spawn. After you end round 2, head into the quick revive room and play both rounds 3 and round 4 here. Make sure you note down the hour hand time on the clock somewhere, as we'll need this for the code to unlock Nathan later. It's imperative that you're grabbing as much salvage as possible throughout the run, as you're going to need as much as possible. Go back to spawn after ending round 4 and switch off the rampage inducer. If you get round 5 bugs, don't worry too much. It is overall slower than 6 bugs. However, if you're practicing, it will be best for you to play this out. End round 5 in spawn, and on your way to the second generator, buy stamina. End round 6 during the generator, and take note of the tentacle trap at Juggernog. What you're looking for is a broken vent where the tentacles come from. If the vent is broken, this is a sign that this is where your hard drive is for the Easter egg. The possible locations for this are here at Juggernog, here at PhD, and here at Speedcaller. This is what it looks like when it has the hard drive against what it looks like without the hard drive. It is not possible for the hard drive to be at the spawn trap. End round 6 and make your way to the biolab going this way. Now that you have stamina up, you can abuse the hot foot augment tomahawking things in your path to speed speed up. Enter the lab and grab the 3 double points over here and turn on the gen. Post-patch threat kit, Treyarch have just nerfed the charge rates of both the Energy Mine and Ether Shroud in the Season 1 update, meaning that post-patch, you will no longer have an Energy Mine ready to place. You will need to get a few more kills to get one. The strat here is still the same, but just make sure that you get a few more kills to get an Energy Mine. Place your Energy Mine here and play on the other bridge and kill as many zombies as possible. As soon as the generator finishes, bring up Pack-a-Punch. Pack-a-Punch your pistols and put dead wire on them and end the round as you are taking the lift up to the main area of the map. If you're confident that you're going to end your round quickly, then you could send the lift as soon as it's ready and grab dead wire as it's going up and still catch the lift like so. End round 7 the best you can and shoot the fuse boxes like so to start the Wonder Weapon quest. If you do not end round 7 before going up to the top, don't worry too much, but make sure that you end the round as quickly as possible. Turn on both of the computers outside of stamin-up and quick revive like so, and shoot the final fuse boxes to open the beam smasher room. You want to have around 3,000 points at this point in the run to buy PhD in a minute. If you do not have enough for this, then complete the basketball side Easter egg now rather than later to get 2,000 points for free. To do this, stand on the box and shoot here to shoot the basketball into the hoop. Kill the zombie NPC to collect the keycard from her, but make sure you do not kill her with your pistols as dead wire can soft lock the next step of the quest for some reason. Run down this way and buy PhD and turn on the final computer for the Beam Smasher quest. And finally, grab the multi-phasic resonator, or the syringe to make it easier, from the briefcase and go back to the Beam Smasher room and complete the equations. If you haven't done the basketball side Easter egg yet, then do this now before going to do the equation step. In the description, I'll link a few things to help you solve this quickly to avoid bribing Peck or doing it on your own. This is the sheet that I use, which you can make a copy of in the description. I simply put in what numbers X, Y, and Z are into the C column here, and then it will give me my answers as such. So, for example, in this game, I had 21 as X, Y as 10, and Z as 22. My answers are 53, 49, and 11. Throughout this entire segment, make sure you are using your Tomahawk for speed boosts. Put in the code and end the round as fast as possible, grabbing all salvage and points on the floor. Also, make sure you are keeping an eye on 2 things here. 1, make sure you still have your shock charge, never ever drop this. And 2, keep an eye out for a C4 on the floor, as we'll need this for some cool tech during the next few minutes of the run. During the round end, check the playing card for Nathan's code like so and note it down somewhere. You should now be on round 9 and the syringe should be ready to be picked up. If you're not on round 9 yet, then the game will not let you pick up the syringe. Buy Juggernog and make your way through here like so and craft a C4 whilst taking note of the final number for Nathan. You should now have 3 numbers for the code in order of the clock, the playing card, and finally the day since last injury poster. Hop on a boat and head to the Blue Orb Island, and these orbs will be in the same place every single game. The orbs can be rather annoying in this run, but I'll do my best to explain how they work. The orbs need 2 smaller orbs to be collected and handed into it via the enemy's zaps. The first zap from the orb will be very consistent. Simply do not kill anything and it will zap a zombie for you to kill and bring an orb to it. For the second zap to happen, you must kill a fair few zombies. I usually try to kill about 7 to 8 zombies to trigger the second zap, but sometimes, especially the blue orb, it takes a while to zap. As the map is rather new, I don't know the exact way it works, but the best way I found is killing around 7 to 8 zombies before it zaps again. Just be careful you do not kill the zombie that it wants to zap, as it will try to zap it and then do nothing and lose you time. Secondly, try not to kill any zombies that are crawling out of the ground, as this won't progress the kills in order for the second zap. Complete the orbs on each island, collecting any scrap that you see and also opening any loot crates you see for any scrap or potentially something better like a blue ether tool. When you get to the purple orb island, throw your C4 up here at a free insta-kill like so. From this point on, do not spam your interact key. This might take some getting used to, as double tapping interact will trigger the C4, and as of making this video, there is no possible way to change this, so just train yourself to not double tap interact. This insta-kill will be used to make Nathan easier. Finish the final orb and make your way to the Beam Smasher room like so and build the Beam Smasher. Now that we have the Wonder Weapon, we can start the actual Easter egg. You should have already identified which trap your hard drive is at. If it is at Juggernog, simply use the trap, take the keycard to Peck, and run over to the PAP lift like so. Jump off, Post-patch Freck here again. In the Season 1 update, Treyarch changed it so that when you give the keycard to Peck, you can only interact with Nathan after all of the quotes from Peck and Strauss have been complete. So using the Aether Shroud burst dash to get down to Nathan quicker is no longer needed, as you have to wait for quotes. So just bear in mind that what I do in the next clip here is not needed anymore. And when you get to around this height, use your Aether Shroud, and this will teleport you onto the platform so that you don't have to take a swim to start the Nathan fight. If you don't do it right, don't worry too much about it, and just take the time loss on the chin. If the hard drive is at one of the biolab traps, you're simply going to do this Aether Shroud trick twice. Once to get down to the trap, and then again to get down to fight Nathan. If it is at one of these traps, Aether Shroud down, and then take the lift back up to spawn, then Shroud back down to start Nathan. Put in the code and release Nathan to start the boss fight, making sure you have enough ammo to kill him. You should need about 2 full clips in each pistol. Buy ammo just to be safe. Whilst he's coming out of his pod, detonate your C4 and spawn the insta-kill. This is going to make us do a lot more damage to him and kill him faster. The final thing to note here is if we have 1,000 salvage, then we need to upgrade our pistols to blue. If you don't have enough yet, then don't worry, as we'll have other opportunities to do this in the run, but we need to make sure that they're blue before the boss fight. Kill Nathan, skip the cutscene, and swim down to grab the keycard, which will always be in the same place. Contrary to what guides might say, you do not need to go to the communication room to interact with the computer. You can simply just go straight to the boat to collect the nodes. This is where we'll do the lockdown skip, and it's why the shock charge is so important. Currently, I can't give an exact reason why this works, and it's rather inconsistent sometimes, but I'll give you the best way that works for me that hasn't failed in quite a while. Go into the boat and wait a couple of seconds for the bugs to fly inside of the boat. Pick up a node and then throw the shock charge on top of the hatch so that it shocks the bugs. This should open the hatch for you to leave instantly. If it doesn't work right away, wait for any zombies or vermin to possibly walk into the shock charge, as this still might work. If not, then you probably failed it and you'll have to do the lockdown as intended. With a node, make your way over to the island here and see if there's a free slot for the wire. If there is, similar to Liberty 4's canister dupe, drop and build the wire at the exact same time to duplicate the wire you are holding. This prevents us going back to the ship for the second node. If you fail to dupe it right away, don't worry, just try it again. Go to the next wire locations and build the final wire. If you have enough money for speed caller here, then now is a great time to buy it. Otherwise, just make your way to spawn and end rounds for money and salvage. If you're short on salvage, then make sure you are killing with your suppressed pistols for higher drop rates. Also, make use of the free max ammo here by shooting a pistol shot inside to save some money. Make sure that when Sam says gather at the guard station, that you are waiting there to trigger the next sequence of quotes and collect the hacker. Now, as I'm recording this, I have kind of just discovered how quote skips work in the map. Well, maybe not how they work, but I am working that out. So if I have a way to consistently quote skip, I'll update this in the description and let you guys know how to do that. Collect the hacker and jump off the guard tower and hop into a boat and take this route for hacking the boys. Again, if you need to upgrade your pistols for blue and have enough to do so, you can do that here and then use the Sentinel artifact side Easter egg to teleport back to spawn and make it down to the bombs in time. If not, then just take your boat through the tunnel to the biolab. You should have 2 Aether Shrouds by this point to defend yourself while doing the bombs. Again, post-patch Freck here. With the nerfs to Aether Shroud, it's very likely that you won't have 2 charges. Mesmerizing the zombies with your beam smasher behind you and then defusing the bombs is another good way of doing the bombs without Aether Shroud. It's also important that you know that you can plate armor whilst defusing the bomb to protect yourself. Simply use your Aether Shroud around now when you see the bomb coming up and defuse it. Do the same for the second bomb over here, and if you have enough salvage, you can buy a decoy or a smoke to help for the third bomb. Only if you have already got your blue pistols. If you do not have enough salvage, then don't worry. You should be able to stick the bomb defuse the entire way. Also, if an amalgam grabs you whilst you're defusing, don't let go of interact, as you could still defuse the bomb whilst being grabbed. Now the bombs are defused, we're almost ready for the boss. Make sure that your pistols are blue tier 1 papped and that you have speed caller. The door plus speed caller should cost about 5,750 points. So if you don't already have it, make sure you have enough to buy it. If not, then don't worry too much, but your boss will be a little bit slower. You do have time to interact with the boss fight and buy speed caller before you go in. Boss fight time, and it's safe to say that this is not easy. The reason we want tier 1 Pack-a-Punch Sallies is for some reason the tier 2 Pack-a-Punch barely does any extra damage, and the price to upgrade for Sallies again simply isn't worth it. Also, the ammo price goes up drastically, which we don't really want to spend on. The Sallies are also amazing here as they completely ignore the critical damage spots for most of the boss fight, meaning you can just shoot the boss directly for the same damage. The way that we'll be playing boss is by sticking in the one area that we spawn in and running to the corners to dodge attacks, buying ammo when we need it. You can also use buying ammo for a free reload to prevent losing time reloading. The boss's attacks will clear the arena of zombies for you, so don't worry too much about killing zombies unless you are desperate for money to buy ammo. Again, simply use the corners to dodge attacks and just pump damage into the boss to clear his phases as much as possible. The time in between phases is 1 minute, and during this time you should be killing zombies to build money for ammo and also your field upgrades. For the fire phase, you need to make sure you are shooting his mouth for maximum damage. This is one of the few phases that you need to worry about the critical spots. For the tentacle phase, your dead wire will do all of the work, and you can just shoot the boss normally for maximum damage. After you have cleared the second phase, you will now get amalgams in the fight. Killing the amalgams is very useful as there's a small chance that they can drop ether tools or even pap crystals for your pistols. Also, you get them out of the way as much as possible for when the boss comes back. Now the boss is in his third phase, there are a couple things to note. When the boss becomes blue and does his wipe attack, you can stun him out of it by shooting his eyes on his face rather easily, so don't feel threatened by this. However, it is important that you are shooting his eyes for maximum damage in this phase. Otherwise, just do your best to shoot the boss, dodging his attacks to kill him as fast as possible like you do in the other phases. When the boss is dead, simply wait until the cutscene starts and finalize your time. And that should be everything you need to know on how to speedrun Terminus. Let me know what times you got with this in the comments, and leave a like and subscribe if it was helpful. And thank you so much for watching, and yeah, see you later.